KKHT wants you to meet three of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsack, the king of credit swing. And together, we're
the Real Estate Rat Pack.
Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
They're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now 1-800-808-5548. And now, the Real Estate Rat Pack!
Yes, got somebody else in on it.
Yes!
I like it.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be a fun show.
It's going to be a great show.
lively already.
Lively already. You know, we're talking about the West Side Story, not the movie, even though I could be very pretty. I'm so pretty.
Yes.
You're so pretty.
Well, that wig is looking pretty sharp on you, Chris. I must
Well, you know,
say.
I tried to dress up this morning. I wanted to make sure the guests understood.
I don't know
the
if that's
theme of the
your
show.
color skirt, though. I think you should go with a more of a
Well,
teal.
I had to take it from the movie. I had no choice.
Okay. And already the Facebook posts are starting to happen.
That is
I'm
correct.
sitting here looking at Ann Hodge. She's already going, why did I agree to do this? Why did I agree to do this? It's like, oh, my. Oh, my. And we do have some great guests today.
We absolutely have some incredible guests today.
And from the Katy Chamber of Commerce, we have with us today Ann Hodge. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Honored to be here this morning.
And Ann's got another role that she's working towards, and she is running for state representative in the 132 district.
Well, I
out
thought
in
she looked
Katy.
fit.
And so we're probably going to talk a little bit about both of those things. But, you know, Chris,
Absolutely.
I was going to let you lead forward since Katy is also your home area. So
Well, you know, absolutely. You know, the Katy, Richmond, Fulshire, all that area is growing. And so one of the things we wanted to do today is in West Side Story, which is the theme today, is talk about what's going on the West Side. You know, and what better way to kick it off than with the Katy Chamber of Commerce and with Ann Hodge speaking a little bit about what's going on in Katy. Ann, what's going on in Katy?
Well, I think we've got a great story to tell, and I'm very blessed to have the opportunity to represent the Chamber and to talk about it. As a matter of fact, a year ago, we were invited up to Fairfax, Virginia, to make a presentation to over 2,000 employees with ExxonMobil. And one of the things that we did was make the case why those employees would like to come down to Katy, even though the new campus is up at 45. We feel like we've got the best school district in the state, much less the nation, and it's the number one reason that people move in. Also, the close proximity to the energy corridor is an enormous selling point for us. As a matter of fact, talking to realtors in our community, we're being told that the average time on MLS right now is 8 days. And
8 days.
8 days, and if it's not
That's only 'cause of the
full
ugly one.
ask, it's above asking price. So the inventory continues to go down, and we're seeing that reflected in the housing prices. I'll tell you, there's something very special. I've been the CEO of the Chamber for 15 years, and what I can tell you is we've seen remarkable growth, but Katy has a heart.
Right.
And you cannot create a heart in a community. This community cares about their people. And when people are in need, they find a way to rally behind them. And it's not for recognition. It's not for promotion. This is a community that is passionate about the people. Based upon where the new development is slated to be, most of it is going to be residential. There is some commercial development, but most of it's residential. So I think we're going to continue to be a bedroom community. But the challenge we have is I was meeting with our superintendent of schools the other day, and he told me in the next 8 years we're going to add an additional 30,000 students. 8 years, 30,000.
8 years, wow.
And right now we're at 67,000, so that will bring us up very quickly to 97,000. I'll be conservative and extrapolate a factor of 2 times that 30, so that puts an additional 60,000 residents, probably more like 90,000. Currently, Katy ISD has about 284,000 residents. So we recognize very quickly we've got a challenge. As far as our education system, mobility, we worked for 12 years on the Grand Parkway. Every time we thought we had the funding in place, it got yanked out from under us. Now I can tell you one anecdote that I love is Pope John the 23rd. I'm on their board of governors, and their enrollment has skyrocketed.
Oh, yes.
Due to the fact people now know they're there because the Grand Parkway has opened. A funny little tidbit, since we're having a good time this morning, is I can't tell you the number of people who have said to me, and I can get up to the outlet mall in 15 minutes. And the husbands look at me and say, maybe this wasn't a good thing, Ann. What
not only
did I
that,
tell you?
it's going to be a toll road from 10 north.
It is. And so Segment E is open. We've got Segment F coming, and we can thank ExxonMobil for ensuring that was part of the deal, Segment F. So all of us in this corridor will be able to get up to the airport much quicker. I think if you look at Beltway 8 and a number of the other developments that have taken place over the years, we're going to see high-paying jobs come in that corridor. And we're very blessed because it really is a great quality of life.
You mentioned it having a heart out there. I live out there, obviously, in the Katy, Richmond, Fulshire area. And, and I mention all that together because we're all a very good, big community. I mean, there is a lot of activities out there. Not only do I live out there, my daughter goes to Katy ISD, to OKE, actually. My son's not quite of that age yet. I have a poker group with the men's group out there. We hang out on the weekends. It's a very family, very community-driven area. Every area out there is. And you couple that with how close it is to the energy corridor. I mean, I actually work in the city center area, and I venture to everybody I work all over the city basically. But from a corporate office perspective, we work right there. And then you also have one of the things that we've seen Katy have over the past 5 years, which I did not have out there when I moved out there 7 years ago. We have now seen it take off in regards to everything you want to do, you can do. From a Costco to all the areas in La Centeria to go out and eat. The eateries have really come around since then. And then we're starting to see some new buildings going up. We're now seeing office buildings going up. So you really have a drive that is really started to take a lot of activity that before we had to come in town to do. You don't have to go in town anymore.
Yeah. Ann, I wanted
out
to
there.
make sure I got covered. One of our past guests, a fantastic realtor, the lovely Christy Borden, had asked a question on Facebook, or not much a question, but just wanted you to talk about new development in retail and residential on the north side along the 99 corridor. Right. What are you seeing happening there?
Well, it's huge. There are some really exciting projects coming. Some of them we really can't talk about yet because it's up to the developers to make those announcements.
We could talk about it, but they would have to kill you.
Well, yeah,
right.
I would definitely be called.
It's hard to get
quickly.
votes. From
Yes, and I do have this
although it does
election,
happen some
so,
places.
I mean,
yes, they're willing to go Democrat, though. They
but
vote
yeah, but I will tell you this. I think Geico, the new corporate office of Geico in that corridor, is a great example. And for them to move their entire operation to Katy was huge.
That is pretty amazing.
And that grand opening, we had the governor and we had Warren Buffett here for that grand opening. So I kind of think Katy's on the map in many respects. And, we continue to be rated very high as far as relocation. And, of course, it helps that the state of Texas continues to be number one. And the other thing I just want to mention is when we moved here 32 years ago, there was one hospital. And if we want to talk about quality of life, we need to talk about health care.
Right.
And how accessible it is for our families now. People moving in take it for granted that they have Texas Children's Hospital, the first satellite ever built is in Katy.
Yes.
Methodist, Christus, Memorial Hermann. These are all great facilities in addition to having cancer facilities. The number of people that tell me, and I can go close to home and receive chemo, and I'm not having to drive down to the medical center. I mean, it's gut-wrenching what people go through when they are in that treatment phase. And so it really is a blessing to have that close by. And then we just opened the Ballard House for folks that have to come here and stay long term. Again, I want to say that's a project of the community. It is not government funded.
Right.
That's the heart that I talk about in this community that you can't go out and duplicate, and we're so proud of it.
It truly is amazing. I grew up in a little town called Columbus, right, which is west side.
Right, very west side.
In just a few years, it'll just be another part of Katy and, the surrounding area. Anyway, I moved here in '85, but the summer my mother moved up here before I came to Houston, so I was commuting back and forth a lot. And Katy was just another checkpoint on the way to Houston. For me, I'd pass through those towns, Sealy, and okay, I'm this far now and that far, right. And so there was a long gap between Katy and Houston. It was just the 2 lanes and distance and trees and cows and
when
whatnot.
you saw the rice towers, you knew you were getting close to Houston.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you hear that
Yeah.
all the time. And now, what are the rice towers?
Now it's a
No label brewing.
Yeah,
Yay!
yes.
We have our own brewery.
It is just a blur between the city lines of Houston and Katy now. It runs together, and it's kind of similar for me out in Humble with the difference that it's been out there. It truly is amazing.
And we're coming
how much,
online with the arts. We just opened the new Katy Contemporary Arts Museum, and Anna and the rest of the team have just done a great job with that. I mean, it's fabulous that we have an art museum now in Katy, in downtown Katy.
And that's something I didn't know.
Well, you must come out
am
and
gonna
see it.
come out.
It's absolutely wonderful.
Well, if you'd see the renaissance of what's going on in regards to the old Katy, old downtown,
Yes.
and the changes in development and upgrade that's going on to the downtown Katy area, it's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, from the churches that are now reinvesting into the communities, such as St. Bart's, to other areas, as you mentioned right there, the arts and just businesses
Well, I
in
may be
general.
out there
It's amazing.
this weekend building that furniture for you, that outdoor
That is
furniture.
correct. That is correct. You will be out there this weekend.
Well, there are some great events going on at the Arts Museum this
And
weekend.
before we get too far along, let's talk about your candidacy.
Sure.
Tell me how it's going.
It's going great. We just need everybody to get out and vote on Tuesday. Early voting completed yesterday. I've lived in the community for 32 years, worked on every project imaginable. One of the challenges we do have in Katy is we're in 3 counties. And only the city of Katy, which is about 13,000, is a municipality. The rest is unincorporated. So in many respects, it's fallen to the chamber to advocate for the community, to fight for the road projects, to fight for the different infrastructure, drainage, and so forth, as well as education and a number of other issues. So I've had a lot of experience on the ground.
Yeah, I bet.
And I know what it takes. I'm a fighter. I do not believe in government being everything to everybody. The Workforce Investment Office closed suddenly because of budgetary considerations about 5 years ago. And frankly, I don't think our employees, much less our employers, needed to go to Spring Branch. So we went into action and said, we've got to have this office reopened. They said, well, we don't have the funding. And so the bottom line is we now have that office open at Katy Mills for $1 a year.
Oh, wow.
So what I'm saying is I'm out of the box thinking about ways that we can get the job done without relying on government.
But for a long time, chambers were how things got done. Businesses supported the
Absolutely.
chamber, and the chamber supported the community. And it was all done private funds and things like that, and it works.
It does. When our members do well, we do well. That's our philosophy. We also like to be the friendliest chamber in the world, okay? That is another philosophy.
But
for
it's
us.
important to have somebody who understands business, who understands the development of the community, someone who lives in the community, someone who works in the community, someone who understands the surrounding areas. Because too often we find individuals try to get into it for the wrong reasons. They're trying to get into it more for a personal gain than what it is a community gain.
We're starting to sound like conservatives here.
I think there's an item right there.
Well, and I think that's why I'm blessed to have the realtor's endorsement, because
Yes.
they understand that I'm passionate about these issues.
Who else is endorsing you?
Texas Association of Business, the Hospital Association, the Greater Houston Builders Association. The list goes on and on and on.
Well, we encourage everyone to listen out there because this is a hugely important primary. It is a runoff.
Yes.
And whoever is going to win that primary is going to be your state rep. It's that simple. It's that simple.
So we tell everybody, get out there, vote. Tuesday is the voting.
It is 7
day.
to
And
7.
that means you, Kristen. You're
That is
not
correct.
coming into Houston
No,
until
no,
you voted
I
out
will
there.
be right
I'm
there.
watching you.
I'll be the first one to get out there.
Okay.
But get out there, vote, and definitely put that out there because Ann Hodge is a great individual and somebody we want to see represent us out there.
Thank you.
And has actually been representing us anyway.
Absolutely.
In the
Exactly.
community for a long
Absolutely.
time.
I just
She
get to do
it's
it more
just
in
a
Austin.
continuation.
If someone wants to reach the Katy Chamber of Commerce, how would they do so?
281-391-5289 or katychamber.com.
I'll tell you, if you're looking at bringing your business out there, enhancing your business, or just getting information about what's going on, engage with the Katy Chamber of Commerce. They're a great resource, great tool. Obviously, we have a great individual here, but your staff is absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
And the way they follow up and the way they do things. We are actually going to, though, come up to a break right now.
They've got to pay for this show somehow.
I know, exactly, somehow, right? So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And we are back.
Back in the studios.
Yeah.
Back in the studio for West Side
We're
Story.
doing the West Side Story. I like your rendition of Maria during the break. That was really good.
I did not know you had such an amazing singing voice.
I know, and there's not enough room in here to dance, but wait till you see me do my pirouettes and all my dancing and stuff I do. It's great.
And in that Hawaiian shirt, I'm taking photos. I am absolutely so. Well, we're talking about the West Side Story.
The West Side
what?
Story.
What a coincidence! Everyone here today is from the West Side.
I do
Almost
think
like
it's-
there's a theme.
Yeah, it's like a theme that we did in doing for the show, right?
Like we planned ahead.
Right.
And so from Ryland
Get out.
Homes-
No one's going to believe that.
No, they know us. They won't believe it. Cece Karnopp is here with us today, and she was with Ryland Homes. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
And I know that you're out there and you are knocking them dead. And we were talking about inventory earlier. Let's talk about you at Ryland Homes, what Ryland's doing, what's selling, what's hot.
Okay, absolutely. Kind of Ann Hodge is a little bit hard to follow, and
We wanted to up your game a little bit.
She is terrific. And just to expound a little bit on what she was talking about regarding Katie, I myself am a transplant from Southern California. We moved here about eight years ago. We did our homework. I have 3 kids, and we looked in the Woodlands, we looked in Sugarland, and then we found Katie. And Katie is where we hung our hearts. Talking about heart, Katie is so steeped in tradition. People really seek out that feel, that small town feel. But we're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and everything's getting pushed southwest more, right? As well as northwest. So it's growing exponentially, and I'm so very excited to be part of it.
Like you said, I want to expand on that. It's that community with a heart, as Ann was saying. As you mentioned, it's growing a lot, but we have not lost that heart, which I think is incredible.
Absolutely, and I think people feel it.
Probably because of a strong chamber of commerce, don't you think?
Might be.
Yes.
It's the people.
As we all look at Anna.
It's the people, really. And, and with Ryland Homes, I am in the Cinco Ranch area. That's where I'm currently positioned as a sales counselor. I will also be out of the Fulshire Creek in the next couple of months. We'll be opening that up, and the model will be up and ready.
I definitely have to agree with you on the small town feel. Having moved 30-odd years ago from a really small town, 3,000 people kind of small town, that was one thing that attracted me to the Humble area, which while it still had all the amenities of a larger city, it still had a culture that was very small town feel to it, and that definitely was something I was attracted to. I think definitely get that about Katie. You're talking about Fulshire, and I think that whole area is going through the exact same thing. My wife's grandmother, she passed away a couple of years ago, but they used to have a home out in Fulshire, and same experience. We would drive from Humble to Fulshire. It was like, we went through 2 or 3 states, and there was a border check, and now once again, I've making that trip for a couple of events with you out there and that sort of thing. It just looks like Houston.
Yeah, it really does.
West Park Tollway has opened up Fulshire.
Yeah.
The good and the bad,
Yes.
West Park Tollway.
Yes.
Yes.
And 99. And people love both of them, but it's also going to bring a lot more people out. It
Absolutely.
actually made Fulshire and Katy and all those areas
So accessible.
so accessible.
It was half the time of the drive. I mean, we had to do the whole 1960 and Westheimer and all that stuff to get out there, and it seemed like it was, pack your bags.
Right.
So, amazing.
With Ryland Homes being the nationally recognized company, energy efficient homes. We are publicly traded company, so we have the backing of that and being able to position ourselves with very strong land positioning. So we're all the way from Fulshire all the way up to Cypress, the Woodlands area. The division is quite vast as far as that goes.
Let's talk about your area specifically, where you're going into. What's some of the draw, the amenities of that area?
Well, Cinco Ranch.
Rob is always really big on saying people buy lifestyle.
Yeah, right.
So let's talk a little bit about the lifestyle of your area.
Cinco Ranch in itself, it's the number one community in the nation, not just the state, but the nation.
Brag, why don't you?
Well, yes.
Yeah,
you
bring
know.
us up with the facts.
Did I happen to mention we're number one?
Yeah.
We never let the facts get in the way of
Number
our
one
opinions.
builder and number one community. How about that? And so very lucky to be part of it. It's an amenity-rich community. People do seek it out from different parts of the world being relocated here. They do ask for Cinco Ranch, and Cinco Ranch being towards the last parts of it as far as building out the last area. Supply and demand. It's going up. So Rob was mentioning we have a 2-month supply. Were you saying
On the
right
resale
now?
side, yes.
Yeah, on the resale side, the builders obviously trying to maximize that and build as fast as we can, as much as we can.
Let's talk about your inventory a little bit. Like, if you have sitting inventory, what your product looks like, what people are looking for in that product when they come by.
No,
Right.
we're all out.
Yeah, I know, right?
Let's
Actually,
come up with 3 more questions now.
No, actually, no. We are holding a few, and we are putting more on the ground. Like I said, demand is high, so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to meet most of the time, most folks that are moving in are families, so 3-4 bedrooms, three bathrooms. What I'm seeing a lot more too are multi-generational families. People that are moving in together they're asking for 2 master bedrooms downstairs or having that capacity.
Interesting.
Because when they do move in together, they have the kids. They want to have the parents be with them, or parents stay for an extended period of time. So we are able to, as a builder, meet that need.
Yeah, I got to say a lot of that happening. And a lot of times whereas kids are graduated from college, they get to be 25, 26, can't find a job, and guess where they go?
Well, I was trying to be PC, Rob.
I
was trying to make it like the parents.
You're on the wrong show for that.
Yeah. Actually, yes, you are correct. There are the older kids that are living with the parents still. Yeah.
And it's a reality. That's why I always tell people once they become empty nesters to go get a condo inside town. And so you can stay down there at the Hampton Inn and we'll come visit you.
You know what, though? We have some great empty nester areas out in Katy, let me tell you that. Some of the building that's going on nowadays, some of the areas.
Oh, yeah?
With all the amenities going on out there. I mean, as you were talking about, obviously, we live in Cinco Ranch. Our children go, to the schools right there, especially being OKE being one of them. But one of the things that's happened is as the amenities have driven out there and gone out there, so have people who whereas before they might have their children then move in town, once their children got old enough or left house, we're seeing a lot of people staying out there.
Absolutely.
They're now staying out there because their grandchildren come back in, et cetera,
I
et cetera.
spent a lot of time, Kenny. It really is a wonderful area, and I'm just having fun. What's your price point?
I was just going to
He's a Katy wannabe. Yeah,
We're on the
Rob's a
same
Katy wannabe is what he is.
Yes. Our price point with Ryland Homes in Cinco Ranch is in the low 3s, going all the way up into the 4s. I do have inventory homes that are quite, as far as the value that you're getting, very affordable. And so, I'm looking to get that off our books this weekend, folks. So come on in and come and see me.
So, if I want to change a couple things in your plan and add some hardwood floorings and places and things like that, can I do that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we're able to do that. And we're quite generous when it comes to, allowing you to do certain things. We have a state-of-the-art design center with a design studio with designers that are on staff that will take you through the process in making your selections, exterior and interior. But the inventory homes were designed by, and the selections were chosen by the designers, so they're quite rich as far as...
You and Kim, Joe, could be happy out there in a new home.
No.
Actually, I'm working on that, Rob.
I agree, right? We have to, you got to
Yes.
work on Kim,
Yes.
you got to work on
Chris and I are neighbors
trust me,
over there.
Kim needs no work on this subject. I'm telling you.
Right? Right. So absolutely, come on out. We're in the north side as well, Cypress, Preserve at Northampton. Hello, Allie. And, the difference with Ryland Homes, I think, is, yes, we build energy efficient homes. Yes, we have wonderful, beautiful, architecturally designed, beautiful homes. But I think the difference is the people. From the top, Kevin, our division president, all the way down to the people that are in the trenches, the sales counselors, the builders. It's a synergistic team. We work as a team, and the ultimate goal is putting happy people in their beautiful, energy-efficient homes. That's the goal.
I think I've asked every builder that we've had on the show before, but I've seen a lot about outdoor living and things like that. Are you getting a lot of demand for outdoor kitchens?
Absolutely.
Small spas?
Yes.
And things like that?
Again, it goes hand in hand. I'm getting a lot of the cultural buyers. They want to make sure that they're able to cook outside as well and have that type of an amenity.
I don't even cook inside.
Yeah.
I love cooking
I
outside.
make one thing good for dinner, and that's reservations.
You're no fun.
I'm happy to come wash the dishes, though.
Yeah. Well, okay. That sounds good.
Cece is in keeping with tradition of our show, we only bring the best of the best on. So she's quite humble that she hasn't mentioned that she was nominated for Rookie Sales Rep of the Year.
Right.
With the GHBA.
The Greater Houston Business Builders Association.
Yes. Ryland is a fantastic builder. Kicking tail and taking names out there, but so are you. So we want to make sure that folks can work with the best. If they're looking for a new home, they want to work with somebody that really knows what they're doing. How do they get a hold of you specifically?
They can just come and see me at Cinco Ranch. Do I give out my phone number?
You can give out your address. You're not going to answer your phone anyway. You're busy.
If you want to give them your phone number, you can. If not,
well, okay. How about this? Cece.Karnopp, Karn as in Nancy OPP at Ryland.com, or come and see me at Cinco Ranch Northwest, 3318 Indigo Acres Court in Katy, 77494. Direct line is 281-394-7600.
See, Cece is good looking, so she's worried about stalkers.
Yes, that is correct.
I'll be out there later
And she's
myself.
like, she's already got 3 here in the studio, so she's worried now.
Cece's not really my real name, so it's an alias.
All right, Phyllis, it was good having you on the show.
Joe.
Was they always say time flies when you are having fun, and guess what? We're up against another break. But we have another great guest coming on right after this commercial break from our sponsors.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And we are back. We're back having a great time as usual. Speaking between the break, we need to record our between the break opportunities.
Yeah, and Joe's still on a break over here.
Joe's always on a break.
I'm just shooting the bull over here with Ann.
Absolutely. But, before we get to our next guest, actually, we have a caller right now.
We do have a caller.
Well, let's hear what the caller has to say.
All right.
Hello.
Are you there, caller?
Hey, I'm here. How y'all doing this morning?
Fantastic. Enjoying ourselves too much over here, and we actually have to do a radio show, so we had to quit shooting the bull during the break. Did you have a question for any of our guests today, or?
Well, it's a side question. Like the lady from the Katy Chamber of Commerce may be able to answer the question if she's still there. Is she still there?
Absolutely. She is here.
We don't ever let them leave when they get in the studio.
That's good. Joe and I know each other. We go way back. We worked at gallery together for years.
Is this Stephen Bays?
Yeah, Joe, how you doing?
Stephen, buddy, man. How's that furniture store up on the north side?
Yeah, 1960 in Kirkendall. It's not quite Seiko Ranch anymore, but you know.
Hey, give us a shameless plug, man. What's the name of your shop?
Can I invoice him?
It's Beds to Go. Better known out there in the internet world as bedstogosuperstore.com.
Cool.
Plug.
Absolutely. We're all about shameless plugs here, man. So what was your question for Ann?
My question is, I'm paying a little over $1 a foot leasing. It's about 5,000 square feet. Been here 11 years, and I want to do another store or 2 or 3, actually. And in Katy out there, I'm not going to find anything at this $1 a foot, am I?
She's shaking her head.
It wasn't up and down, I guess.
Yeah, no, I wish I could help you with that, but Katy, unfortunately, is pretty high on the commercial property side. But I think you've got to take a hard look, too, at the opportunity. And I'm sure you're well aware that Gallery is opening next to the new Mega Theater on 99 south of I-10. So right. I think we are going to see a lot of growth in those areas like furniture, because with the buyers coming online out there, the closer you are. And I don't think it's an accident that Rooms to Go is just to the west. Their superstore is just to the west of Katy. I think that people have very strategically targeted that Katy and Fulshear market like we've talked about, not to mention going up a little bit into Cypress. And the closer you are to that 99 corridor, the better I think you'd be as far as being able to access those buyers. But I don't think I can match those prices, but we can sure try and work with you and do our level best to find a good fit.
Yeah, and Joe's got my contact information, or you can find my contact on my website, my email address, whatnot. But my question is a little more industry specific. I sell mainly mid-level bedroom suites, mattresses, and bunk beds. We do real well on Google as far as our placement. And do you think because of so many homes out there don't have a lot of options for inexpensive bedroom suites for the guest rooms, is the idea of going out there, because a mattress store is just a mattress store. I do it all.
Well, I definitely think there's plenty of opportunity out there. And at this stage of the game, I think what we are seeing, I'll tell you, I went to Washington, D.C. a couple of years ago and met with some folks about real estate, and they told me that what Katy is all about is driving till you qualify. And I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but we have all price points. And so I think that goes to what you're looking at, and you're right as far as the guest rooms. I know that when we furnished our guest rooms, we sure didn't spend what we did on the master, because my husband was not going to go for that. I promise you, not for somebody to come in maybe once every couple of months and sleep in that bed. Right. So, I do think that there's an opportunity, and I will tell you this, we didn't touch on it before, but Katy really likes to do business with Katy. And that is one of the things that for 15 years I've seen in the chamber. And they really want to give back to the community. So they want to find a way to support those local businesses. And that's very key, in my opinion. If you can, have a great spot that folks know you're there and really market to that. And we do have all price points in our housing. I mean, you can still get into a house for $120,000 out in Katy and have your kids in Katy ISD schools.
And, one thing, Ann, I just wanted to let you know about this as well, Stephen, is, the one thing off of 99, one thing that's happening is, technically speaking, the Richmond-Katy area on that 99 corridor is really becoming a single entity when it comes to the way people view things. And there's a lot of businesses going in. You mentioned the Palladium movie theater down there. You're seeing the new Sam's that's going in. You see the new Walmart that's in there. You see going up a little bit for the Costco. So all that corridor right there, there's a lot of opportunity. And so sometimes you might have to go a little bit further south in the Richmond side of things. There's a lot of activity from Katy that's going on. People, once they recognize where you are in that general vicinity, they're going out there. And even going out towards Fulshear, a lot of development, the new Target going on out there, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, and the other thing I think is fair to mention is now that Fort Bend has completed the flyovers on 99, it makes it so much simpler and quicker for folks to do business along that corridor. So you're really seeing a lot of development. And then, with the new Skeeters baseball team and so forth, there's just a lot of connection from Katy down all the way to 59 on 99. So you've got some great opportunity.
Well, I appreciate the insight on everything, y'all. And, Joe, one quick question. Do you think Mac's going to end up buying a helicopter?
I would not be surprised, man. I tell you what, we had Mac on the show not too long ago, and he's still blowing and going, man. Heart attacks don't slow him down at all.
Not at all. Yeah, that'd be nice if the pastor of the church can get one. I believe he can.
There you go. There you go. Well, man, Stephen, it was great hearing from you, buddy, and keep in touch with us.
You got it. Thanks for letting me talk.
You bet. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks a lot, Stephen. And right behind Stephen, we actually have another phone call right now. We have Christy, who is calling in. Christy, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. What have you been up to?
Working hard. selling Katy and Cypress and Sugarland.
That is correct. We were talking about you being in town this week, which is really good, and we always appreciate you calling in and listening to the show.
Thank you very much.
Well, we have Ann Hodge on. I know you know that, and
of course,
she's been a delightful guest, and we were talking about you early this morning, and so I thought you might want to call in and ask Ann a question.
Sure, and I have to disclose, of course, that I'm a big supporter of Ann Hodge for this seat. I've known her for a very long time.
We made shameless plugs. I mean, it's okay.
Yes, no worries.
I just want to make sure I'm full disclosure here. But Ann, I just want people to know. I don't think people realize quite the asset that you have been to the Katy, North Katy, South Katy, Cypress area, and how crucial everything you've done has been to the benefit of the residents. And I'd like you to just, I guess, share that there's a reason that the realtor community has supported you, is because it is an absolute necessity to have someone who thinks like you do and acts like you do on board to protect private property rights in our area.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. There you go. I'm
Sorry. Hey, Christy, how are you this morning? Thank you.
I'm wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that. And I really think it's common sense. And it is not about me. And what I've continued to say with this election is it's about the community and having representation. And I am honored to have the realtors' endorsement and their support. But we all understand that the way the realtors really go after these issues is what's in the best interest of the property owners and the community. It's not really very selfish as with some other folks. And I am so proud of what the realtors have done, because I think we're all in there fighting. It's about the quality of life, and it's not about, trying to better an individual per se. We are fighting these fights on a daily basis, and particularly being in an unincorporated area. I just can't say enough about how difficult this is for us to get our fair share. And, when you've got a school district with 67,000, and then Cypress is part of this district, and they've got 113,000 students, those are staggering numbers that we're trying to get our arms around. And every session we see bills introduced that would absolutely hurt our property owners. And, we've just seen a huge increase in the appraised values. And all of these things are factoring in to what our homeowners are going to be facing. And that's where my commitment is, in trying to really work through these issues and make sure that we don't put people in a position where they're forced out of their homes.
Right. And I just, I think it's so important that our representatives have a vested interest in the area that they do represent, and have a history and plan to live there after the election is long gone and they quit their service. And so one of the things that you bring to the table is that you are a part of our community. You have been, and you're not going anywhere. You are part of our life here, and we'd love to see you represent us.
Oh, Christy, I really appreciate that. And without getting into a lot of detail, obviously my husband and I have been property owners and paid property taxes for 32 years, and my opponent has not. He currently doesn't own any property in Harris County. So I think the difference is that I've actually fought that fight, and I care about what my tax bill looks like every year, and I'm willing to continue that fight. But I hope my legacy really is, a tremendous quality of life for this community. My service will not have been for nothing if that is,
right,
the outcome. And we appreciate everything the realtors have done. I applaud the efforts of the realtors, and it's been my honor to work with everyone for 15 years.
Well, thank you for everything you've done, Ann. I've already voted. You've got my vote, and I hope everybody will get out there and vote on Tuesday. And please remember, Ann Hodge.
Thanks, Christy. Have a great weekend. You bet.
You too. Bye.
Thanks for calling, Christy. Well, we have such cool people that call in.
Yeah, and we're, you know what? Jay Clemente sitting over here quite patiently, and now we're going to go to a break.
Jay, great speaking with you. No,
Wasn't that an awesome segment, Jay?
but when we come back, we will be talking with Jay Clemente. So
that is correct. That is great. You know, but it's really interesting. You said right there, great individuals, great people who are calling in. Just a great group of guests that we also have. We'll be hearing from Jay right now, finishing out that little circle of light that we talked about out there in the J area, in the Katy area. I call it J area, by the way.
In Katy J.
That is correct, Katy J, and in that area, and then getting back on and talking a little bit about everything else. But we're going to a break right now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And we are back. Time flies when you're having fun.
Joe's over here doing his homework.
I know he is, actually. He's always doing his homework.
Shameless plug, all the RPM event photos that we were out at just this Thursday night got uploaded, so I'm like going through and laughing at Rob, and some of the funny pictures that we had of him, and it was a fantastic event. Jay, I just tagged Jay, our next guest. I just got through tagging you in the RPM photos.
And you were dressed up very nice. You actually looked very good. You had the whole makeup.
Oh, you figured out how to work that in. I had a TV shoot, and I had tons of makeup, and multiple people commented on that.
I walked up and go, "Are you wearing makeup?"
No, not at all.
Wait, we do have Jay Clemente, and with RE/MAX Top Realty. Jay,
thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for having me, guys. Finally,
absolutely. Yeah. So, talk to us a little bit about, basically, how'd you get into real estate? What kind of business do you do? Things. I know you're connected to a community that you do a lot of work with. So, talk a little bit about all of that.
Well, basically, I fell into this field. I'm a third-generation public servant. My grandfather was one of the longest public elected officials in the Philippines. I think he was in office over 25 years. He was mayor of a little town. I think he graduated. I'm not sure. When I was reading, I think he just finished second grade. And for me, that comes in pretty highly because somebody who's very little education came a long way. By being liked, you will come a long way. I think he's beat out so many great politicians along the years, and to this day, basically, I follow his footsteps. My dad was also in the real estate industry. I was born with a for sale sign.
That might have been they were trying to sell you off.
Oops.
I guess I wasn't that marketable. But
you just need the right agent, man.
Okay. I've been licensed since 1999. Yes, I'm 15 now. So
you finally came of age.
There you go. Yes.
Awesome, man.
So and I actually went to college for physical therapy. Did everything about it. Found everything I didn't like about it. I was in student council. I was vice president for the university. I was president of the student council for the physical therapy student council. I was awarded student of the year.
So it helps you be flexible with your buyers.
I'm about to say, being a physical therapist and now being a realtor, I can see the synergy right there. I can see how that can help you out.
Free massage for every home and house you buy.
Chris, we have a call on the line, don't we?
We do. We actually have a caller right now. We have Kiana on the phone right there. Kiana, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
Kiana, do you have a question for us today on the show here about the Katy area?
Actually, I have a question for Cece Karnopp.
A question for Cece. All right.
Yes, hi.
Hi, I was just wondering, how many homes do you have available for immediate move-in this summer?
We have 4, actually, in the Cinco Ranch area. So come on in and see me.
And now 3.
Yes, Joe or Zach is going to purchase one of them.
Up to
full price.
4 homes.
Thank you. Thanks for calling.
Oh, wow, okay. Thank you.
And our bars lined up, so sold out.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Jay,
Yes, sir. I'm here. Back on the grind.
It looked like he was heading out the door, man.
Is it happy hour yet?
And so you have focused out in the Cypress area and kind of the northwest part of the west side. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on out there.
I have a lot of listings. I have probably about an average of about 15 listings. The difference is because I've been in the business quite a while, and I do this passionately. You got to do business with people that you like and you love and you trust. I'm closing on a gentleman right now. It's a family, and they say, Jay, I'm the youngest one in the family. You sold everybody else in my family. I'm coming to you. You can't tell me to go refer you somebody else because you're too busy. And fortunately, as he's coming back, and we're closing on his house, and he said he's gonna go take me out for a drink sometime.
Yeah. I'm sure you meant.
I think
tea
there's
or
a theme
Coke
here
or-
about drinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chai tea, sir.
But you
Shirley
work a lot
Temples.
within a community.
Yes, I do. It's just a close niche. I mean, my uncle has been referring me some business. My brother, just my close niche, and a few people out there. You don't necessarily have to be extremely big to make it big. You can start off really small by being a ninja.
I'm only 5'6". So.
Okay.
On the radio,
I'm
you sound
5'6"
6'2".
5'6", 5'7", I don't know. I'm getting shrinking with old age.
And we're all about to get in our costumes.
Yeah,
That is true.
That's right. We're about to do the Broadway musical, The West Side Story. So, Jay, what is that? What? Rob is just looking at me with that disdainful look as usual.
He's like, oh no.
Yeah, I just don't know what's coming next.
I feel pretty.
That's what I was
Like
thinking.
model
That's
hair.
what I
Oh,
was
so
afraid of.
pretty.
Oh gosh, I totally lost my
I
train
think
of
Ann
thought.
Hodge just left. I can't be connected to these guys.
She's like, oh my gosh,
She
I'm
keeps
trying to run.
scooting
And...
further and further away.
You know what's funny though is no one puts Ann Hodge in the corner, and we've got her in the corner over here.
She will not be ignored.
No, and we wouldn't. So
We would never do that.
Jay, what do you love most about real estate?
I like the fact that somehow I'm connected with their family, their transitions in the family, buying their first home, second home. I'm easily connected. I get invited to their weddings. I get invited to their little girls' Sweet 16, quinceañera, and all those. And passionately, I do love a lot of cultures. One of the things I'm passionate about is possibly maybe traveling more in the future. So basically, I get to immerse with a whole bunch of cultures, and I'm passionate in what I do. And getting them into the closing table, fighting the battle, finally getting them there, finally selling their home for top value. A lot of times lately in this market, I've sold them way above list price and way above appraisal value. I've come in there to fight for them because I have a black belt in real estate.
One of the things that you did mention though is, we talk about Katy and the Richmond and Fulshire. The diversity that we see right now out in the Katy area, I'm just going to tell you, is absolutely phenomenal. We are combining Latin American with Filipino with Asian American with Indian culture. I mean,
Isn't that cool?
we have such. If you were to look at a true definition of a melting pot, and I think Houston, by the way, nationwide is the best definition of a melting pot.
Fort Bend County is the most culturally diverse county of any
That
county
is correct.
in America.
That is correct. But if you look at Katy and you look at what we have out there, and you look at that diversity across the board in cultures, in religion, in all aspects of things, it is absolutely one of the best things to see out there. And Ann, I know you're chomping at the bit to say something about that.
I am, because right now in Katy ISD, we have 76 languages spoken. So to your point, it's one of the largest school districts with that many languages spoken in the district.
Right. And it's one of those things, we talk about that. Believe it or not, my first language is Spanish. It's not English. And so, that's my home language. That's what I speak with my wife and my kids, et cetera, et cetera. And it's amazing, though. I'll be in different places and hear all different types of languages. Not only the diversity within the Latin American, within the Spanish language, but within a lot of different aspects of things. So it's as you're right. I mean, not only within the district, but just the diversity we have is a lot of fun. And Joe, I think we've got a phone call, don't we?
We have another phone call. We have Lisa on the line with a question about subdivision decline. Something along those lines.
Lisa, how you doing?
Hey, is this Joe?
This is Joe, Chris, Rob, Jay, and Cece.
Oh, okay.
You
And
got the whole
everybody
team.
out there. Well, first I want to say hi, Joe. It's Lisa from Karate.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Oh, not
One of my
bad.
fellow Tang Soo Do brothers or sisters here in the martial arts world. Love
That's
it.
right. Thank Sue.
Yeah, Tang Soo.
Hey, I do have a question for Jay.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
How are you, Jay?
Great. Never been better.
Good. I think I brokered with you in '99
Oh, you
back with
did?
Ann Walker.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And I'm very happy to know that you made it as a success story
Thank you
because
so
I was
much.
not.
I've come a long way. Lots.
Yes, you have. Anyway, my question is, can you tell me, and I don't remember, but anyway, can you tell me what brings the property values down in a subdivision?
A neighbor's not prepping up their yard. I've seen some everywhere. So people not taking care of their stuff and people not keeping up with their tenants. I mean, that's what I see.
You mentioned a good one there. People not taking up care of or staying on their tenants about property. I know that there's a lot of places that have a ruling on how many homes can be investor homes or lease homes. Do you see that a lot out in the Katy area?
I do see it from some time to time. I mean, there's different neighborhoods who have stronger associations than the others. I think we all need to come around as a bind, as a community, and other associations, stronger associations. I feel that they should reach out to these other ones.
So you're not thinking that, as is going on in Fall Creek and many other subdivisions around Houston, where we have, the managed communities.
Yes.
And you can come into a subdivision and you see they're building homes at, 150,000 to $1 million.
Yes.
You see that a lot in all of the subdivisions around the city. So that's not something, building a smaller home in a community where there are larger homes is not something that brings down property values, correct?
Yeah, I think as a whole, we have to reach out to all our representatives, our mayors and all that. We need to reach out, and then we have to create some sort of awareness to all the communities.
Now, Rob didn't get to have headphones on for that last question there, but Rob, and we're down to just a couple minutes. I know we have to wrap it up. But she was asking something about, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa, something about the price points in a neighborhood where a builder will come in and they'll build from 150 all the way to $1 million. Does that affect how the pricing of someone's home in that area already?
It can impact it, but it's not going to impact it, proportionately. Someone's going to, when a new home community is going to be able to get a higher price than on a resale. So if you think if you get an equal size house and a brand new home, and you're a resale, you are not going to get the same amount of money. If that answers your question.
No, it was kind of based on square footage, If somebody comes into a subdivision and builds a 1,600 square foot house, and then, they're around other homes that are maybe 2,500 square feet, that doesn't affect.
I was going to say, Rob, this may be a topic for our next show.
We're
running out of time.
Discussion, so I'd be happy to get your number and talk with you after the show, but we're about to wrap up.
Yeah,
here.
Lisa, stay on, and we'll get your number, and we'll have Rob call you and talk to you right afterwards if you don't mind. Thanks a lot for calling in today.
And, okay, so we're down to 10 seconds.
One thing we always do, we always leave the show with a good saying. Today's no different. Today will never come again. Be a blessing and be a friend. Encourage someone. Take time to care. Let your words heal and not wound. From the famous Teresa Kennedy.
Until next week.
Amen.
We're out.
Clemente, JSoul.com.
And you've been listening to the Real Estate Rat Pack. The question is, who's Frank, who's Sammy, who's Dean, and who's the other guy?
Chris is Frank, he's Dean, and I'm Sammy.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So tune in to the really big show every Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on 100.7 The Word, KKHT.